Page 4, Good King Wenceslas. On page 3, they give what they call a stocking stuffers. Throughout the book, you get these little things. Just little exercises to do. I don't really cover them in the lessons. You're welcome to ask questions to me if you have any questions, that's fine. But like on page 3, the first one, they're dealing with intervals. So I'm assuming you've had intervals and you know what they're about. And the first one they show is like the music is a G and a D. Well, you have to figure out what that interval is. Well, start with the bottom, count 1. Remember the one you're on, the note you're on is 1. We don't start with 0, it's 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be an interval of a fifth. So you draw a line from that music little staff thing up to the stocking with 5 on it. And then you draw the lines all over everywhere and have fun. On page 5, they're giving you some sight reading things to do. Sight reading is where you're reading things without practicing it. You just sit down and you're reading it at sight. You're performing it at sight. Do the best you can. It's got the words of Good King Wenceslas, so it's different melody. So just see what you can do with the sight reading. I don't really teach sight reading in the lessons. If you have questions, you're welcome to ask. Let's talk about this king thing and see what's going on. I go through a process when I learn a new piece of music, and that's what I use in these videos. You have your process, your teacher has their process, everybody has their own process. But they're my videos, so I use the process that I'm accustomed to. And the first thing I do is I look it over, just a general look over. I see it's 3 lines long, although the first line is repeated, so really it's 4 lines long. But I only have 3 lines of music I have to learn. And then at the beginning of this piece, it's a treble and bass clef. Always check the clef signs because they don't have to be treble and bass clef. They will be for a long time, but they don't have to be. And we have 4/4 time signature. So it's 4 counts in a measure and a quarter note gets a count. And I just kind of glance over it. I see a bunch of quarter notes and half notes and a whole note at the end. Okay. Now, I like to take the one hand at a time and work out what each hand is doing first. And then I go back and put the hands together. But as I look down through here, you're only playing one hand at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about both hands. It shortens the video up a little bit. That's the beginning. The right hand starts a thumb on C. They say thumb on what? Well, I'm about to tell you what is. It's middle C here, which puts your hand in this position. And if you look at the second measure on the half note, they want third finger on that G, it's a G, and that puts your left hand in this position. So we're here. It's how we figure out where the hands go. The music tells us. So it's here, just quarter notes. So, I'd repeat that. However, let's go to the second line right now. It's here. And I'm assuming you can read the notes and you know the names of the notes in the music because all of that is taught in the method book lessons. Here, this is just a repertoire. We're just covering basics here. So you go through and put the hands together, make sure you got the notes okay and the counting okay. And then I think about the articulation. And the articulation is the phrasing and accents and stuff like that. Sometimes they show phrases and sometimes they show slurs. And I don't know which if you've been taught both or which or whatever. A phrase or a slur. But in the first line, you connect this, Rod. Connect that first line together the first time you play it. See, I'm looking at the words. The words tell me where the musical sentences are because there's sentences in the words. And that first sentence there, it's all just one sentence. It's all together. But when I repeat it the second time, I see a comma there in the middle of the line there where the half note is. I can lift up if I want to there. It's like taking a breath, just a little lift. So the second time on the first line, lift up. Just a little lift up. The first time I connected it all, it was all one. The second time I lifted up for the words. However, since I connected it the first time, I could connect it the second time also. I mean, I'm not going to sing it, so it doesn't matter. I could connect them both. Now, the second line, those are separate phrases. They're separate musical thoughts. That's one thought, I guess. And then this is another thought. Musical sentence, that's a phrase. You're going to lift up before and after a phrase. So at the end of the first line here, and I go to the second line, I lift up. Just like taking a little silent. And then lift up. Same thing, lift up. Lift up between these phrases, just a little lift. You're cutting the one note just a little bit short, so you get time to lift up. And then once I have the articulation under control, sort of, I think about the dynamics. I like to do this one thing at a time. MF at the beginning is mezzo forte. That's moderately loud. I can't tell you how loud moderately loud is because it depends on the situation. It's not a set value. You decide. It's not loud, just sort of loud. But then when you get to the second line, you get an F for forte. That's loud. You go up just a little bit to loud. And then in the third measure, or measure 11, you get a P for piano, soft. And the last line is MF again, like you were at the beginning. So you're getting different loudnesses in this. That's kind of nice. And remember the numbers at the beginning of the lines and the little boxes, those are measure numbers. That way I can refer to measure numbers in these lessons. The first line gets 2 boxes. And that's because the first line is repeated. So you're starting on measure 1, but then when you repeat, that first measure is measure 5, because you've already done 4 measures, and that's why they do it that way. Please don't copy me. You read the music and you get into the music and you feel it. You don't have to go that speed. You take it your speed. It's just somewhere in the middle. Moderately is somewhere in the middle. Let's play it together very slowly to check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do any dynamics. The louds and softs, no, I'm going to do it all about the same. We're not performing it, we're just checking notes and rhythms. You should play the same note I'm playing at the same time I'm playing it. And this is after you learn it. Learn it first, because I put the starting point in the video for the Play With Me in the description so you can see where it is and go right to it when you're ready. Same with the duet. Yeah. So I'll give us 4 counts, 1, 2, ready, go. Now let's try it together. Now we are going to do the repeat. 1, 2, ready, go. 4. 1, 2, 3. Repeat. 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, off. Now there is a duet at the bottom of the page for this. I'd like to do that. And you play what you just played. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. I'll give us 4 counts. Now understand the duet part is different than yours. So you got to focus on what you're doing, but you got to listen to me to stay with me. And the duet part has a lot of half notes and stuff in it, and I need to keep a beat. So I'm going to play something on every beat. I'll make something up. So let's just try it together and see what happens. Now I need you to go up an octave to make this work. So just pretend and on the keyboard, middle C, instead of here, middle C is up at the next C up, here. So instead of here, you're up here. Now pretend this is middle C and you're up here. Play it all up here. It'll sound better because the duet part's using these notes down here. 1, 2, ready, go.